Welcome back to the Southern Pacific Produce Row Subdivision. This is, layout episode number 3. This is our second layout update. This time, kind of move my focus back to planning out some more planning and preliminary construction in the Brooklyn yard and shops area. So one of the things we did actually manage to dig through and find was the backdrop that was on one of the original layouts, staging yard entrance. So it fit perfectly here. So this is the backdrop for the end of the scenic portion, kind of splitting it off from the non-scenic portion, which is the staging module behind. And then I also put in place here I glued in place is the abutment, to finish the abutment for the Holgate Road overpass. That's important because that sets where that bridge is, and it'll help me place the piers and the rest of the girders and things like that will go across here at this location here. Next, I went through here and realigned, as I mentioned last time. I realigned the cork here to represent, and we actually now have a proper yard lead bypass with the tracks coming this way. And also we laid the cork for the railway express agency warehouse. And then I've also started to do is trying to find turnouts and things like that. Were rescued from the last layout to figure out where they will all go and things. So this is basically the pieces of track that were from the last layout, trying to figure out where places will fit. Then along with this, I also got the base cork in for the engine terminal that wasn't there before, and added some extra layers in here. This has to be double layered here, mainly because around the turntable here is a 1/4-inch hardboard. This is mainly done here, mainly to raise the turntable up. So I needed the extra 1/4-inch so the motor drive clears the bottom of the module. So even if this module is always flat to the table top, the motor drive won't be dragging on the plywood surface below it. So I tried originally talked about having a fuel and sand off the sand, and it wasn't desirable to have it off the turntable. But then actually, having some thinking about how to accommodate the shops and pulling in the buildings I have, and I had a number of buildings based off the plans. We have some like the shop warehouse here. We got fuel tanks, fuel water separator, obviously the water tank, sand house. I took and created a flat here to represent the part of the Brooklyn car shops that were here. It helped skies against the scenery against the edge of the backdrop. And I'm trying to manipulate things around in here. Then I found that I could, if I realigned this turnout here so the train goes through the curve rather than the straight portion, which actually makes everything flow much easier. I can leave the shop building in here, and don't have to modify it. And then also leaves room for the fuel track here, your prototypical right off the end here. And then the fuel track can become the sand track, mainly because there's going to be more tank cars moving in and out of here than there will be sand. And that way, this track here can be a good place to store a switcher or a piece of a flanger or some other maintenance way equipment, for instance, here. And this here is the lead track, and I'm still going to have to sand this down and a nice gentle ramp up to here. But then right along here will all be your fuel and water and oil fillers will all be in this area here. And lastly, it's kind of trying to bring some more buildings out of storage and kind of look at how things are going to fit. We are talked about here of having the machine shop and the big water tower, but there are other buildings that fit in here. And obviously the Roundhouse is the biggest thing that fits here. But, for instance, we have the prototype Brooklyn train order building, which I'll put about here. So it should be on technically the other end of the yard, but there's no room for it there. We have the Roundhouse foreman office, which actually was in an old cluster roof coach like this one. This is our MDC car. It took me forever to find one of these and to make it into this thing. And then we have the building here is for the crew. It's kind of for storage and crew lockers, things like that. Yard office, and we have the motor pool. things like that here. And then plus I have a number of, pump sheds and utility sheds and things like that go in here. So I kind of figured also that lastly, they will have a road, commercial road in the back corner. And then I have the Babe's Diner here from Republic Locomotives Works heat kit here. And this will represent the typical greasy spoon that it's close to a lot of road shops. And so that's actually appropriate. So that'll go there. Nice, good place here. Trying to figure everything fits or not. Obviously, I'll probably have some more surprises and successes or failures, you might say, in different times, trying to get everything to fit without looking. I don't want everything getting a little too crowded here. So again, we're kind of working on next. Be trying to lay down and actually fix this track down in place. I want to do the turn it back here. I want to do the lot of the yard stuff here first. The main line tracks in front of it do have will have powered turnouts using the Walthers horizontal mounted turnout motors, and just because how those sit in here, you got to be careful. I don't want to actually drill down through those circuit boards where they're drilling other things, so I got to make sure that all the holes are drilled all around it. And plus, it's a bit more. There's a lot less room to play with. So I want to make sure I put those all in the proper places, because I can't have them on every switch in here just because there's no room for them underneath. Because underneath in addition to switch motors, I have to put there's a number of hex juicer boards, signal detector boards, power supply boards, all the stuff, electronics for this layout have to fit under this module. So it'll be some fun wiring stuff in the offing. So, well, thank you for watching. We'll see you the next one.